Welcome to the Nonno Giorgio and Rory Cooking Italian for Weight Loss channel. This is our recipe for homemade soup. Today's soup is homemade cabbage soup with some peppers and lots of seasoning. Hi, I'm George Phoebish, and Rory is working at home today from the other room, and so you got me by myself. What I've done is I've chopped up some mirepoix, which is a fancy French word for carrots, celery, and onions, and I've put them in a pot with a little bit of olive oil. I've also have a green Italian pepper and a red bell pepper chopped up, and there you can start to hear them simmering, and give them a little stir. This machine is great if you have a lot of chopping. You can put your vegetables in here, push down on it, they fall down into the lower bucket, and they're all the same size. I also have some kale and cabbage that's going to go into the soup. I put some garlic in. I have one of these little garlic presses where you can put the garlic in and squeeze it, take a knife and push it off. It makes the garlic really small strands so it blends in with the food, so you're not getting a whole piece of garlic. You buy vegetable broth to make your soup. I'm going to teach you a little trick about how you can make your own broth. You don't have to buy it. A lot of times the store-bought ones have, you don't know what's in them, but they have a lot of salt. And here you're controlling how much salt you put in your food. What I do is I do the mirepoix, carrots, celery, and onion. In this case, I did the 2 peppers. They go in, and I saute them in olive oil until they get soft. You look at the onions, they should be translucent. Vegetables should be on the soft side. Then I take half of the vegetables out, and I'll put them in a dish here. And then I put water in, 2 or 3 cups. The less water makes your soup more like a stew, thicker. The more water makes it more brothy. So whatever you like. For me, I like both. It depends on the soup I'm making. You can put almost anything in your soup. If you're a meat eater, you can put chicken, you can put sausage. For vegetarians, you can use vegetable sausage products, vegetable meat crumbles, whatever you want. Any vegetable. Cauliflower is great, broccoli is great. Green onions are a nice flavor that you can add to it. This is coming along nicely, and I wish you could smell the smells I'm getting here. We also sometimes use 1 or 2 cans of clams. Now, if you're not a seafood person, just ignore it. But if you are, it adds a wonderful flavor, and the clams become very tender. You know, they're tiny, so they're not rubbery. They just add nice flavor to your soup. But experiment, you know, go to your store, look at what vegetables appear to be nice and fresh. Try a variety, try different soups. We sometimes buy lentils and make lentil soup. We both love that. The other day I made a split pea soup. We both love that. So you can do whatever you want, you know, just let your mind go a little wild. Think about what you want to make with your soup. Try different things. If you want a little pasta, you can use pastini, which is a little tiny pasta. Or if you don't have that and you want to make soup, take angel hair or spaghetti and break it into little pieces, you know, maybe an inch or 1.5 inches, and throw those in. They work just like pastini. They're small. You don't have to worry about twirling your pasta in your soup. And now we're almost to the point where I'm going to remove. So I'm going to turn the heat down, and I'm going to take roughly half of the mirepoix and the peppers out. And I probably want another 2 cups for this soup. Now, what I want to do is make my own broth first. So I have an immersible blender, which I call a boat motor. You want to be careful with this. First of all, when you touch it, when you turn it on, this blade will take your finger off. So don't put your hands near the bottom. What you want to do is put it down in, make sure it's under the water, and then turn it on, let it come off. And move it around so you're getting the vegetables and chopping them up. This is making a wonderful broth, and I'll show you in just a second. It's coloring, it's not clear water anymore. It's a vegetable broth. I'll unplug that. The top comes right off so you can easily clean it without the motor getting in water. I wanted to show you this. See, it's just a vegetable broth. It's wonderful. Now I'm going to stir back in the vegetables that we didn't chop, with the immersible. Now you got some bigger chunks in there in this soup, which is wonderful. Okay, so now I'm going to add the kale in and the cabbage. And that's going to bring it up. You can check your level, and if you want to put a little more water in, you can. Okay. So you see, it's liquidy. It's got a lot. The cabbage will melt down, and I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then we'll come back on, and I'll season it, and let it sit on low for 45 minutes or so. Look who joined me!
I am so happy to be working with you. I miss working with you in the kitchen.
She's actually very hungry.
Yeah, that too. I am going to try to help a little.
So Rory's going to do some seasoning. I'll start and then she's going to finish it, and we'll tell you what's going on. So right now we turned the heat up to high. We brought it to a boil. I'm going to turn it all the way down to low. Give it a stir so there's nothing sticking at the bottom.
Can you hear it bubbling away?
It's bubbling. The cabbage is starting to get softer.
It sounds wonderful.
I'm going to put just a little bit of salt, and we'll taste later to see if we need more. I'm going to do some black pepper. And we sometimes use hot red pepper. If you really like things hot, use more. We use just a little bit. It adds just a little bit of hint of heat in the background and flavor. So just a couple of flakes. And now Rory's going to do the other seasoning.
So I grew up in a Spanish household. My mother was from Spain, and we used a lot of seasonings, particularly because she preferred vegetarian cooking also. And so in order to add flavor sometimes with vegetables, you need spices. And so I'm somewhat familiar with a lot of spices, and George and I, Nonno Giorgio and I, use them a lot in our cooking. So this is, we're just going to put a couple of bay leaves in here, which afterwards you want to try to retrieve, but it's not always visible. The leaves aren't always visible, so you may have to dig a little, or if people find them in their soup, well,
dig them out.
Or tell them it's good luck. Okay, and we have ground sage. Sage is pretty strong, so
yep.
I only put a little bit in the soup. But it does add a little bit of flavor. And thyme.
I can smell it.
also is fairly strong.
Yeah.
So we just do a little bit. But I think all of this helps, even though the vegetables themselves have wonderful flavor. So would you like the basil in now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we just have little basil leaves from our plant here in the kitchen. And of course they add wonderful flavor. And so I think that's it mostly for the herbs and spices, right?
That's it. And now we're going to put the lid on, not tight, otherwise it could boil over on you. It's on low. I'm going to set a timer for 45 minutes.
I have to wait that long to eat? Oh, no.
And when we come back, we'll have our place settings out, we'll have a little soup bowl, and we'll taste the soup, let you know how it came out. But if you don't like some of the seasonings, you don't like bay leaves, don't use them. If you like something else, use it. You know, soup is a wonderful way to explore cooking.
Yeah.
You can use almost, there's no wrong, you can use almost anything. Season it the way you like. You know, if you try something you don't like it, don't do it again. Try something else. It's so easy, and soup is very comforting food. Just great.
I can't wait.
Back in a little bit.
See you later.
Okay, we're back. The soup is ready. We took it off the stove. We're going to put a little bit in for a taste, and then we're going to go have lunch. Okay, you ready?
Thank you. Yes, this looks beautiful. It's got beautiful colors, green and orange for the carrots. I can't wait to taste it.
That is delicious. If you need more seasoning, you can season it, you know, in your plate. But usually, when you season with cooking and you taste it, you know, while you're doing that, it comes out tasting the way you want it to. Now, one last tip we wanted to show you is you can get these cereal containers, the dollar store, some other stores. These are great when the soup is cooled down. You pour your soup into that. If it's a large pot, you'll need 2 of these. If it's about a half pot, you can get it into 1. You stick them in the refrigerator and they'll last a couple of days and be just as good. Take them out, you can microwave it or put it in a pot and heat it up on the stove.
And I would say make a lot of soup, because if you get hungry and you eat soup, it's not that bad as a snack, and you can have it for a couple of 3-4 days and it stays good. And you don't have to be cooking every day. So I would make a pretty good sized pot.
And soup has an incredible amount of nutrients. None are lost. It's all in the broth. So eat your soup, drink the broth, you know, put it all down. It's great stuff. All right, from now, we'll say ciao,
Ciao,
and arrivederci.
and thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you have enjoyed our channel. If you have, please hit the subscribe button below and the bell next to it so you get notified of new videos when they come out.